Oh, what's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to Channel 99 today. It's been a little bit of a while, but we've got with us back again Dustin Isaac, lead singer of the Tumbleweeds, and also just Dustin Isaac. Man, this guy is, he's a fucking character, and we had a wonderful conversation today. We talked everything from suicide awareness to addiction, rehabilitation.
Yep. A lot of soft-hearted stuff from my side.
Yeah, totally. And I think a lot of people will get something from it because it's personal accounts, man. I think people really can relate to it. Even if they don't go through that, they've seen people go through it because this is, it's an epidemic. And we talk about that on the show, so I don't think anybody has been unimpacted. Is that even a word?
I would say it's a word. Yes,
yeah, it might be a word, yeah.
Unimpacted by.
Unimpacted. I don't think there's a soul here who has been unimpacted by the opiate addiction crisis.
No.
It's a state of emergency. It was declared a state of emergency for a reason. So everybody make sure you subscribe, give us 5 stars, pass the episode along, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Yeah. Do it.
Shut up and sit down.
Yeah, here's to a great show, my man.
Indeed. Just throw you.
Yeah. Thanks for swinging by. I hit you up kind of late.
That's
Was
right.
it like last week? And I was like, dude, I'm getting great feedback on your stuff. You need to come back on.
Yep. I do appreciate it.
Yeah,
Every time
totally.
I come on, you tend to get some good reviews on what we got going on, so appreciate that.
Well, thank you.
Especially from you people out there. Thank you.
Yeah, not a problem at all. Well, I mean, it's great content, right? So I mean, you drive the traffic. You're the one getting downloaded. I'm just kind of part of the process, so appreciate it. Yeah, so cheers, man. It's been a great night so far. We started off with your recommendation, or the recommendation from the liquor store girl, right?
Yes.
Did she look like she knew what she's talking about when it came to spirits?
She did. She had the darker red Irishy hair, nice milky white skin. I figured she was very, very much Irish that knew what a palate was supposed to be. But instead, she was going for cost. So I got driven away from 2 of my all-time favorites. I'll shoot them out there if you don't mind.
Not at all, man.
Jameson and Powers Irish whiskey, I appreciate very much. So if you get a chance, especially Powers, a lot of people don't know about that. Try it out. It's a good one.
Where's that from?
It's an Irish blend coming from Ireland itself.
Okay, so it's an import.
Yeah, I actually sat down with a couple of guys. I was working in Ohio at the time, and they were straight from the island, and they swore up and down about the significant taste over Jameson. So
yeah.
It was nice.
I wish my palate was more refined when it came to liquors. I think alcohol, for the most part, when I do taste them, I do notice a difference, but I'm not as fluent as some people. Like, I know what tastes good and what doesn't, and I can say what I like and what I don't. But obviously not everybody's going to agree with me, and I don't understand even the aging process. And
I'm not too in tune with it, any of that, especially when it comes to wine. It all tastes like wine to me.
Yeah.
And I'm not a fan, so.
Totally. I don't even get it. And there's some that are white and yellow and red and purple. And they're just all grouped into 3 colors, I think, or 2 colors, like red and white, right? Well, we've talked about what I do for a living with like analytics, and I worked on Diageo, which is I think they're the 5th largest distributor of spirits in, I want to say, definitely the United States, but maybe even the world. They handle like all Jose Cuervo distribution here in the U.S. So I used to track all those numbers and do all the analytics for them at the time, and I was given like these really cool books, like Spirits for Dummies, and not necessarily that, but like industry types of books that would kind of give me a little bit of some understanding of what it is that I'm actually looking at, so I can have a little bit of a connection with my work, so it's not monotonous and boring.
Yep.
Yeah. but I never read it because I don't really get bored with that stuff, and I didn't drink much at the time when I worked with that client, so I didn't really care to know about it. I just did my job. But looking back on it, I still have those books. They're on my desk. I need to bring them home and just set them on dining room table over here, or I mean the family room table over here in the music room.
Just make time for them.
Yeah, totally. Just read through like a page or two, just like, because it breaks down the different types of wheats and different grains between different types of the, whiskeys and bourbons and all the good stuff, all the tequila and like different trends that are going on in the industry. Now this is a little bit older, so I would assume that things are definitely different by now. I think when I got these books, they were like 3 years ago, and they were like probably 2 or 3 years old at the time, so they're at least 5 years old. And at the time, the things that were popular, which are not popular now, were like the cotton candy vodka or the marshmallow vodka, all the flavored liquors. Right when Fireball started taking off, like Fireball's still really popular, but again, I'm not a liquor guy, and I definitely I understand like the trends and like whatnot, but I don't understand the palatability of deciphering between one or the other, because I'm just not a connoisseur. I don't dive into it. But hey, it gets you drunk. But unfortunately, it was probably not even worth the $10 split, right? Or $11
no, I
split.
think at this point it's a little bit rough. I mean, I don't know what you think, but it's definitely got peaty taste to it, and I told her that's what I was trying to stick away from.
Yeah, it's kind of dry.
Very dry.
Yeah, and you don't want dry whiskey. That's weird.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know. Not for me. I'm not a whiskey guy, but I've had some.
I like a good. I like a good Jameson. They use molasses and makes it a little bit sweeter, a little smooth.
It's a little thicker.
Yeah, like Pendleton. A lot of the Canadian blends, they use maple syrup.
As a sweetener in it. Yeah, as an activator, right?
Yeah, as opposed to sugar. So
natural sugars. Yeah, that's crazy. Do they make? Well, I guess they can. I wonder, and you're probably even the person to ask this, but I was wondering if maybe they could make like diet liquor, because I know it has calories, but you do need an activator for the yeast, right? Or
I think. Well,
I don't know how that works, man. I don't make.
I honestly don't either.
I don't know.
My buddy Cole Harbig would probably be the only person I know that would have a full understanding of that.
Yeah.
So, Cole, if you watch this, give me a call.
Yeah, let's get you on the show, man. Let's talk liquor. That's what I've been trying to do, though, is been trying to get to the point where I feel comfortable enough reaching out to big name people.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to go up to somebody and be like, hey, man, I have a great podcast. You should come on my show. And then he looks at it and it's like, well, you've only been around for 6 months. Like, I mean, statistically speaking, I think I'm doing better than most people who just start a podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Only because before we talked about, I've only put literally $5 into marketing ever since I started, but I only started it in August. But I've been growing at a rate of like 20 to 30% every other month. So it's literally staggered. I posted this photo the other day, but it's like staggered. It's kind of stepped. It goes, spikes down a tiny bit, but then it grows even bigger. Then it drops down a little bit, then grows even bigger. And that's where I'm at right now. So I'm starting to notice hopefully a trend where, I'm able to kind of like capitalize, because it does tell me, being analytical and geeky, it does tell me which episodes are doing good and where, which states, like California for some reason just exploded. So like they're my number 1 state. New York's my number 2 state. Weird, completely opposite sides of the country.
That is pretty weird.
Super weird.
Yeah.
And I think Idaho might be in 3rd right now, but Idaho just has been lagging behind on everything, and Mississippi's like doing what it was doing, because that was my number 1 state. But
plus you're getting up on the summertime season where everybody's going to be outside. It's kind of weird for music too, especially playing the local scenes.
Yeah,
it's very much a constant flow between winter and summertime. There's seasons where people want to go watch live music, and there's seasons where they want to go spend their days in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. So. Well, but when when they're out there in the middle of nowhere, they'll probably throw a podcast on when they're setting stuff up.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Or hiking.
I never think about that, because I haven't had.
Because they're away from everything.
Radio forever.
Yeah. Well, and you can download it.
Yeah.
You can download right on your phone, and then you can take it with you. It's all free. Like, all my stuff's free. You just download it, just put it right on your stuff.
That's good to know.
Yeah, totally, man.
I'm a little bit far behind on how that thing goes.
It's all good. It evolves a lot faster than we do. I'll tell you that. Like, every day I'm blown away by technology, and some people would think that I'm pretty tech savvy, which I am.
Yeah.
But like, every day I'm blown away by something, and I'm like, I should know that, but I don't. That's what blows my mind. It's like, it evolves so fast that you don't even notice that it's something that you've already thought about and it's already implemented.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, before you could even have anything mastered, there's something new.
You're like, man, it would be dope if they had this setting, and then you Google it, and it's like, fuck, they already got that setting. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're always ahead of you. But yeah, speaking of music and stuff, people can download your music everywhere. Am I right? Where do you guys?
The only place that we have it is iTunes and Google Play. I do believe are the only two places right now. We're kind of in a real building structure.
Yeah.
I think we discussed that last time.
We did.
So we're probably not going to use what we have. Sorry to say, it's going to take even longer.
It's all good.
But that's why I want to put together. I want to get a one song, just one to throw out there for people to kind of understand what's going on.
Yeah.
And then while that's going on, I want to work on a series EP and get something that I can hand out, something that I can, provide at the shows that I play, and also provide through email to some of the people that are trying to book me, so I actually have some subject matter to give to them.
Mm-hmm. It's a good call. I actually just got, I was just contacted by the girl, her name's Caitlin, and she came on and did, honestly, my very first like legit unplugged sesh. Like, this is what I want to be like, my unplugged.
Yep.
She came over and did 3 songs on guitar and 2 on piano. I think she did 5 total. But she hit me up today, actually this morning, and was like, hey, can I use your video for like my music page? I mean, I'll give you all full credit. I was like, hell yeah, that's an honor. That's cool, because she's
Very
super
cool.
good.
Yep.
And I told her I'd be more than willing to like just level it out, if because some of the songs are going to be a tiny bit louder than the other ones, only because it's going from a guitar to a piano. I chopped them up, so it's like I did my best with what I had. But anyways, yeah. But no, she kickstarted it, so I was stoked on that. And then when you hit me up to like work on a project, I was like, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You're the perfect person to just make me even that much better. Does that make sense?
I think it would be really good for both of us, honestly. Give you the know on the how, and it'll give me that little bit of a hopefully jump if I have something that has music and a video behind it, put it out on YouTube, maybe it'll get a little advertisement. Who knows?
Yeah, totally.
Only one way to find out.
Yeah.
So.
There's ways to target, and I'm just now learning this. You're so talented, dude. When I play some of your music for people, they think you're famous. No, they totally do, bro. Yeah, they're like, hold on, who's this guy? And I tell him, like, Dustin Isaac. He's doing like a solo thing, and I tell him that we did an unplug, and I play it, and people are like, whoa, dude, way good. Yeah, man, you're like a big stage voice. For sure. I
appreciate that.
Yeah, and your lyrics are dope, man. I can honestly say I can probably sing all 3 of those songs that you recorded last time. About awesome. 70 to 90% throughout each one of those songs. Yeah, dude, for sure, man. Very catchy.
I'll give you some new ones.
Yeah.
I told old Conrad I had one that I wanted him to listen to for his Shot of Dawn project. So
that's cool.
See if I can do that one. It's a rough one that I wrote. That it was during a very hard time. I was going through a lot of withdrawal, to be honest, from pain medications that they had me on from my back surgeries. We discussed this before.
We have, yeah.
But yeah, just a refresher. I had a really bad back surgery, and they had me on a extensive amount of oxycodone and morphine for about 3.5 months following the surgery. And I one day just decided it was enough, and I flushed them all down the toilet and went into just
full blown
Johnny Cash, sweating and seeing things that weren't there. My dogs were talking to me.
Dude, yeah, so you were heavy, dude.
I was
you were
heavy.
in deep, man.
Well, they had me, the last dosage that I was on was 180 milligrams a day with 90 milligrams of morphine.
Hold on. You got to repeat that. It was how many of...
So 180 milligrams of oxycodone a day with about 90 milligrams of morphine was the end amount that I was taking. It was ridiculous. I was a zombie.
Yo, dude, yeah, you're floating like all day.
Yeah, I walked from bed to the couch, took a bathroom break in between, you know, maybe ate once a day.
Like, and probably just peeing, right? Because you probably couldn't shit at that point. What were you doing?
You would shit like once a week, and you better have a pain pill ready for that one. Cause,
wow.
You know what I mean? It's just constant constipation that you're fighting. And so you're eating raisins to kind of keep yourself normal, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, there's
just like fiber on fiber on fiber.
Oh, just an insane amount of everything. Yeah,
dude, that's insane. You know, and I've talked to a few of my friends. Sorry, I'm gonna remove this shot real quick of this dog. Some people like this puppy cam, so I'll throw it in like the corner, and people can just watch my dog hang out with us.
Sounds good.
People dig it. But dude, I mean, I've had friends who've done like time, and some who did like 4 or 6 years, and then they went back and they're still in prison, you know, from like their early 20s. I
got lucky that I pulled myself away from it, because I was at the point where I had enough that if I was able to stop, and
they just gave you that much. Like, did you ever have to go buy anything?
No,
like,
there
was just so many.
The VA was mailing this to me.
Way more than you could even use.
Yeah. I mean,
because those numbers blow my mind.
Oddly enough,
230 oxycodones at a time?
I was taking 220s at a time.
220s at a time.
Every 4 hours.
Damn.
So, yeah.
So then, was it 160 or 180, you said?
180 was the prescription that I had.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's insane.
So, yeah.
And then on top of that, the morphine. So when I'm not even trying to relate, because that is why that's why Conrad's doing what he's doing.
I honestly think that the surgeon at the time was not trying to do me well. We'll just say that.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
He was just trying to kill you.
Well, he messed up the surgery, and like we discussed, he hit my sciatic, so lost feeling to a majority of my leg.
That's right.
And it was, while I was at the hospital, I had a 7-minute drip of Dilaudid, and I was getting, I think it was 2 milligrams of morphine every 2 hours. I can't remember the exact dosage, but it was a lot. Like I was just a zombie. That's plain and simple. That's all I was.
Dude, that is absolutely insane. So I went in and had knee surgery. And I had, they called it a de novo cartilage transplant. It was like kind of an experimental thing at the time, because it was either that or a knee replacement, because I had injured my knee in football in college. And what it did was it damaged the backside of my kneecap. So my cartilage was like falling off into my joint, and it was super uncomfortable. So I go in, they think it's like some issues with my ACL and some scar tissue and whatnot, based on like my MRI. They get in there, they clean it out that day, that same day I'm going home, because it's just a scope, and they're cleaning out a bunch of stuff. But what they found was that my discomfort was coming from that dead knee situation where the cartilage was falling into the joint. It was like shredded off, so there was like a piece just flapping around. Makes sense.
Yep.
The only way to fix that is to do, at the time, like a cartilage transplant, and you have to use like cadaver tissue. So like a kid who's like younger than 14. Yeah. Stem cells, man. They took stem cells from his knee, dude, and they put it in my knee.
Oh shit.
Yeah, but I had to be at the hospital for like 3 days, because I mean, they completely opened me up, took my whole kneecap off, like everything was cut, put back together, you know, because you have to take the patella out, you have to shave it, and they had 2 plugs in there, so they're drilling little holes and doing all their little things. You know, it's a little peanut butter, whoop, scrape it, put a little bit of jelly on top, slap it back in my leg. So anyways, I'm in the hospital for 3 days. For 3 straight days, every 2 hours, I got a shot of morphine, and every 4 hours, I got 2 Norco 10s. So every 4 hours, they gave me 2 Norcos, and then they dosed me up with morphine at the same time.
Yep.
Just to keep it like leveled, because the morphine, like, I think the way the morphine made me feel was like, whoa.
It always made my neck like feel weird. Like my neck would crink over, like, oh Jesus.
I was laying in a bed the whole time, so I didn't really like get the whole like thing. I was just in and out a lot, and I was kind of just like floaty, you know, a little spacey. But like, I just remember that every time they would inject me with the morphine, because I had an IV in, I would get this rush of like really hot. It felt so good. My whole stomach and my chest got really warm, and I was like, "Oh my God, that feels so good."
That's why it's addictive.
Yeah, it's like an orgasm in your chest.
That shit
yeah,
grabs you.
But I had withdrawals when I came out of the hospital.
Yeah, you get the hot, cold sweats out of nowhere.
Oh my, yeah, because I was just trying to get off the pills altogether, because I left, and my leg, I think they gave me a temporary block when I left, so that I could like go home and function and get comfortable, because my leg hurts so bad.
Get propped up in the couch. And
16 hours later, though, because I didn't take any of my medication in between, I didn't follow up with it.
Yeah.
And
you're supposed
that block wore off.
Yeah.
Oh,
you're supposed to start cycling it right when you leave, is what they tell you.
Terrible experience.
Terrible.
Man.
Terrible.
And you know, like I was saying, some of my friends, fortunately, they screwed up before I could, and they were great examples for me to stay on the straight and narrow. You know, I surrounded myself with people who made me better in every capacity, regardless of the outcomes they've had in their life with the situations they've been in. And I'm super grateful for the people I've surrounded myself with, because I've learned a lot of lessons through other people before I could have like made that same, you know, mistake or something like that. But yeah, dude, I know a ton of people who, like, you know, the system gets them hooked, and then, you know, for some of them, they can't afford it anymore, or they're not getting enough, and then they, you know, they turn to the fucking black market. Yep. So, and the military just keeps you pumped. Period.
Well, no, that
apparently.
So the VA, not long ago, you know, the Trump administration started a huge pandemic against the opiate situation that we have, and so that kind of created a little bit of an issue of its own. If they weren't willing to go get help, they would turn to, like you said, the black market and or heroin, which are both. And that's a whole different monster. that's kind of the bad switch that a lot of them had to face, because they couldn't get what they needed anymore. So they would have to go find what they were able to afford on their own, which pain medication is more expensive than fucking heroin on the streets nowadays.
It is.
It's bullshit.
Even with insurance.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, you know, there's, you know, all this backlash when they want to set up like clean needle sites for people to just go, dude, they're going to do it anyways. They're going to do it. They're addicts, you know, like these people don't have anywhere else to go if you don't give them a place to go.
Yep.
Other than somewhere they're going to share needles, because they're already in a position where they don't want to have to pay or spend more money, so they'll share a needle. They're like, are you clean? Oh, yeah, I'm clean.
Sure.
And they're so high, they don't even know they're talking about, you know.
I've been clean since yesterday.
Yeah, I've been clean since this morning.
Just dipping out. Looks like Tom and Jerry's
just
fucking their head.
Yeah. Some of my friends, I'd be playing video games with them, and I'd roll over, and I remember seeing these guys, like, they'd be like freebasing, like, you know, the oxys, the 80 milligrams, and they'd just be freebasing on the, you know, on the foilies.
Wait, you can do that to pain medication?
To a pill, yeah.
What?
They would put an 80 on there, and they would just literally put the lighter on it, and they would follow it, with a little...
Chase the dragon?
They would just chase it, yeah. And it would go down, it'd slide down, and it would be black. I didn't know that. It would just turn black, yeah, and they'd smoke it. They'd follow it with like a pen in their mouth. Yeah, dude. I watched that same crew of people. God. I was going to go bowling with these guys. And I was like, hey, man, yeah, I'm cool. I'll meet you guys over at Homeboy's house, and we'll go. And he's like, all right, cool. Just hit us up when you get over here. Hit him up when I get over there. I got my, my bowling ball and my fucking shoes and shit, like, ready to just go fucking just sling, dude. Just strike after strike.
They're laid out on the couch or what?
No, dude. Apparently, one of the people who showed up, he got like 8 grams of coke for free. But they also had a bunch of oxys, and they all did like 80s. So I'm in the same room of like people throwing together. I'm watching people make foilies of
sounds like a
rocking
horrible
up.
Mix.
Dude, crazy, dude, crazy, bro. And like,
what the fuck?
This girl brings out this joint, and I'm like, this is the only normal drug in this house right now. Like, I'm watching people...
And there's probably shit all over that too.
Oh, dude, probably. I just remember sitting there because I did smoke a little bit. I took a couple rips off the J, and I remember sitting there, and everybody they smoked and snorted 8 grams between like 4, maybe 5 people at the most in the house outside of me. I'm gonna say that. I don't know if that's a lot, but it sounds like it would probably be a lot.
Sounds like a lot.
Yeah, probably be a lot. But they also smoked it, dude. They were like throwing it up on these foilies with baking soda and water. What they would do is they'd throw it on there, they'd sprinkle it, and then they'd throw water, dip their fingers in water.
I've seen it done.
Okay, cool, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, well, my listeners and my viewers have no idea how it's done. And I'm not promoting it whatsoever.
Well, do not ever do that shit.
But this is the experiences that people have. So I'm just bringing it to life. This is PG-13 right now, but my shit can get pretty fucking raw and go rated R.
Quick.
Pretty quick. NC, like, even quicker, man. If you listen to any of my other shows, for sure. But, yeah, man, I saw them do that, and then I saw them freebasing the fucking... the little tiny, because they're 80s, but they're itty bitty pills. They're small.
Yeah, mine were, I think, green. Little, just tiny pills.
Tiny. And they would just put it on there. And I think what they would do is they would suck on it to get the layer on the outside off until the white came out, like the actual inside of it.
Really?
Yeah, and then they would stick it on there and then freebase the inside.
I guess.
Because the coating just, like, gets it down your throat.
Oh, I didn't know there was coating on it.
There might be, maybe not.
Huh.
Maybe they would, but I'm not saying this is totally the case. This has been 10 years. But dude, this guy got raided. Oh my God. He got raided for like selling hella weed. One of my best friends, he had like a quarter, he only had like a quarter pound maybe. And he had a bunch of acid in his fridge, and these fucking cops that roll through, they don't have gloves on, and they go through his fridge, and they're just handling all this acid and like these sugar cubes that
See
were
you later.
Like, yeah, that's what I was thinking, but he didn't get busted for that, fortunately. But yeah, dude, that kid, man, he's had very bad luck.
Quit him.
But
quit him.
Yeah, dude. Well, I'm fucking stoked that you were able to kick the habit.
Yes, me too. It was detrimental.
How long did it take you?
Well, from the time that I decided to stop until I was done with the withdrawals, it was about 2.5 weeks.
Wow.
It was a long time. The first 3 days were horrible. I got very, very much dehydrated. Had to go to the VA and get pumped full of all kinds of shit. Sorry.
Dude, you're good, man.
It was fucking horrible. I'm reliving it right now, and it's in my mind. It's the thought of the way that I felt, because I knew as soon as I flushed all that shit, I was like, oh no, that was probably a bad idea. So I instantly went to Walmart, got a whole bunch of gallons of water, Gatorade, and a bunch of little Lunchable snacks. So I just instant sodium,
Mm-hmm.
And I went.
Did you research that? Like, what do I do?
I just right off the bat.
Down.
No,
Whoa.
Well, I talked to my doctor about it, and he told me that it would be best if I just slowly step down. But he wanted to do like 5 milligrams a month, which would have taken for fucking ever.
Drop down 5 milligrams.
Yeah,
a month.
per daily dosage, 5 milligrams every month. Drop it down. I hear the echo on this side.
Yeah, it's because I have to turn your mic in a little too loud.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to clean. That's why it's just.
Gotcha.
I just can't have this mic too far away. You're good, man. No worries. I'm just trying to balance them. No stress.
What was I saying?
You sound good. Everybody loves it. No, you were saying you talked to your doctor and you got all these, all this stuff. You went, Walgreens or whatever, got Pedialyte and shit?
No, I just went and bought a whole bunch of Gatorade and water and lunch bowls and went and sat in the house and slowly got worse and worse and worse. And by about 6 hours later, I was in probably 4 sets of sweatpants, sweatshirts, blankets, felt cold, but just sweating my ass off and trying to drink water, instantly throwing it up, trying to take showers, cold showers, hot showers, whatever I needed to try to balance out how my temperature felt. And 3 days later, I was sitting on the floor and the dog started talking to me, and I knew I was maybe a little dehydrated. So
a little bit,
little dehydrated. So I actually went to the VA and had about 4 or 5 bags of saline pumped into me before I started feeling right, and went home. And the rest of the time, I couldn't eat for maybe 4 or 5 more days, but I was able to sip a little bit of water, a little bit more, and then I woke up with a little bit of an appetite. But it was about 2.5 weeks from the time that I flushed all that shit until I was able to climb out of bed and actually have a smile and be like, damn, I feel somewhat decent.
Wow.
I kind of want some eggs.
Yeah.
It just I finally felt normal, because I was on a steady case from the last time I injured my back, like a reoccurring injury situation was 2014, had the surgery 2015, and yeah, the rest is history.
That's crazy. So what was one of the first things you did when you realized, like, I'm fucking clean, man, I can go do something without...
I jumped on my Harley and fucking tore down the freeway. Just felt that wind. You know what I mean? It was
pure
great.
freedom, dude.
But yeah, it was the end of November, about the time frame that I started feeling good, because I kicked it on the 14th, which I got to apologize, and I'll say it now, since I'm on the subject, to the guys I rode with that did a lot of work with the vets that ride for the VFW. That was a horrible day, and I picked it on the wrong one, because I was supposed to go down and help out with collecting money and stuff for tickets. And instead I sat at home. Well, I went down there and tried to help for a little while, but when everybody went on the ride, I went home, passed out, so I didn't help towards the end. But it was horrible, but I needed it. So
yeah, kind of straightened you out.
Yep, I needed it that day, and if I didn't go forth with what I was in my head thinking, because I bypassed the bathroom to get to my pain medication one morning, and that's when I kind of realized how bad I was. So if I didn't fall through and flush that shit down the toilet, I would have been stuck in a rut, and every day I would have contemplated, but probably never would have done it. So
yeah. Damn, dude. See, it's crazy. So for me, I've never really felt like I've had like an addiction to anything. I've always been able to have like a disconnect with being able to separate. Yes, I may have an addiction, but I'm better than this, and I've been able to quit anything that I've like felt like I've developed a bad habit of. Fortunately, I've been able to overcome. But I've also never been given like a prescription to unlimited narcotics. Yeah, which is like
basically how it was.
90-something% of the people who get on it become that addicted.
Yeah, it's
like dependent.
Well, it's very much a roller coaster ride, because you build a tolerance just like anything else, and your doctor knows that. And well, if you're feeling a little bit more breakthrough pain, we'll give you this much more per, day on your prescription. And it builds and builds until it gets to where I was. I started out at 5 milligrams every 2 hours.
And that's the minimum dosage.
And that's the minimum fucking dosage. And within 2014 is when I started taking pain meds at a prescribed level until, the end of the 2015 time frame. Well, no, pardon me. It was 2013 because that was the last time I was working for the federals. The feds.
Yeah. Did you, when it got to a certain point in the addiction, did you feel like maybe you were, did you go into the meetings with your doctor anticipating having an increased dosage, and did you promote it? Were you the one who went in there like, I need more, I hurt more, like it just doesn't work?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Especially about so
it's
was
not
he
them,
was
they're just complying with what you want.
Well, no, they definitely, they're that dude that, well, I'll give
they
you this,
push it a little
I
bit.
give you this 5 grams for free, I'll see you tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And then you start getting these phantom pains. But it was about the time because he prescribed me from 5, and it's like,
that real quick?
yeah, for sure. And so yeah, he started me off at 5, and about 2-3 months later, I went back into the office and I was like, yeah, I'm still feeling a little bit of pain. He's like, well, we'll bump you up to 10 milligrams every 2 hours. Like, okay, sounds good. And, in my mind, I didn't even think about how bad this shit was because nobody really had the side effects yet. Mm-hmm. It was still very much new to the amount of the amount.
It was before the epidemic.
It was before people started to realize how bad it was.
Yeah.
Because they were dropping people from this shit and putting them on methadone.
Whoa. And
that's how bad it is.
Well, and methadone is, for those listening and watching, methadone is it's what they use for rehabilitating heroin addicts.
Yes.
And it's just as bad as heroin.
It's just as
literally
bad. But
heroin.
they can control it more because you have to go in every day and get your prescribed little dose and
take it there, right?
Take it there. That way you can't, fucking hoard it. Take it all at one time and OD.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
When I was in college.
Do all the time.
Yeah, dude. When I was in college, man, they would always, because I played football, so I mean, like, there's pain pills galore.
Oh,
but
yeah.
like, yeah.
Sport
never
cocktail
methadone. Yeah, yeah.
Cortisone.
But, yeah, dude.
All over the place.
They would definitely promote it. I did get a couple cortisone shots. I had some shots in my back, actually. But yeah, long story short, methadone, I saw my friends take half of a tab because they break it into quarters.
Yeah.
And I saw my 2 buddies, they each took half a tab, and they literally looked, and I don't know the dose and how much, I'm not familiar with like what's a lot, what's a little, or if it's standard, I don't know. But I remember, I think it was high, like 90, 80, 90. I think that sounds about right for a high dose of methadone. Is that right? Maybe. Probably like an 80. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I've never taken.
They took half of it, but those guys looked white as ghosts. They were not happy, dude. Not loving life, man.
No.
They were uncomfortable. They looked sad, very uncomfortable. But they, like, obviously, they probably enjoyed feeling. They just looked that way. Yep. They might have felt really good. I don't know.
To be honest, the weird thing when I was taking all that shit was I did not feel high enough until I would almost feel like nauseous to the point where I'd throw up. And then I knew I was just right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what a lot of the heroin addicts will tell you.
Because it feels really, as soon as that wears off, it starts to feel really, really good.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yep.
And then it just kind of slowly dies off. Yeah.
Yep. It was a fucking mess.
Dude, did you ever do anything like take, your grapefruit juice with it, or?
No, I just would take
fatty foods
all the time. Well, I would have to eat.
So if you take it with fatty foods, well, some addicts get hardcore, right? So if you look on a prescription for an opiate, it'll say do not take with grapefruit, because grapefruit
citrus behind it or something like
well,
that?
Well, there's a compound. It's a certain protein or something's in there that it restricts your body's ability to metabolize the codeine, and so you get more of it and it lasts longer. So your 10 milligrams is going to be 10 milligrams, right? But it's going to make it feel like more like a 15 to 20 milligrams just for that one.
Yeah.
And then it lasts for like a lot longer. It's just
it's
because
you're going to hit your liver at one time.
And it's super slow. Like your body just doesn't break it down. Like whatever it is, but look it up. A lot of heroin addicts, like super hardcore ones, they'll drink a bunch of like grapefruit juice and then they'll shoot up and it fucks them up, dude.
Huh.
Yeah, man. There's
good to know.
Yeah, good to know.
Well, I only have a little now. I got a lot.
Dude. I used to do that when I was on my knee, because they would only give me like, I want to say they would give me 60 10s maybe for the month.
Yep.
2 a day.
Huh. Yeah, I never knew that.
And
it's probably a good thing I didn't.
Yeah, and I would be like, this is really not enough, because this is what they would give at the time, my ex-wife. It's like, this is exactly the same prescription they'd give her, and she weighed 115 pounds. I weighed 230 at the time.
Yeah,
or,
that's
220.
That's not fair.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not fair. So, it's like, if this is the same thing they're giving her, then obviously, like, I got to make it better, without abusing it.
Do I got to cook this stuff?
Yeah, no. Throw it in your fucking your coffee grinder, powder it up. People do that, man. People and they'll separate it somehow. I'm not even that hardcore of a chemist.
I'll say
that's
this.
a lot of work.
I'll say this. I do not condone this shit at all, but I did snort a couple of those pills throughout my time.
Oh,
because if
everybody snorts pills.
Yep. If I wasn't able to eat a meal, it would make me sick.
Yeah.
The only way I'd avoid that is a little bit at a time through, how.
Dude, in college ball, we had a football coach who would just like give us pills, like pills. I'm talking like not even just like opiates, but like relaxers, you name it. He had he would bring almost what do you call it? Women would probably call it a caboodle. For their makeup. Isn't that what they call their makeup thing? A makeup kit is a caboodle. So women, you'd know it as a caboodle kit. Men, you'd know it as a tackle box.
There you go.
Yeah, caboodle and a tackle box. So basically he would show up and he'd have like somas and like morphine and Percocets, like things that like usually people don't get.
Yeah.
Like you get like Norco and fucking and Vicodins.
He's been stealing out of lockers the whole time.
Well, no, this guy's dad. Well, get this. This guy's dad was like worth beyond so much money, and he was one of the professors at the school. This guy played football at University of Washington. He was kind of a big deal. Like, have you seen the movie The Program?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was based on the University of Washington, and he played during those years.
Oh, no shit.
That movie's based on. Yeah, so, and he was my old D-line coach.
God.
So he lost his scholarship. He became a heroin addict, man. But I remember seeing this dude pop in like so many pills. He'd be at our practice just slurring words. But then to counter it, he'd pop a bunch of ephedra.
Oh, yeah.
And homeboy had a fucking heart attack at like 33 years old. My age, dude. He had a fucking heart attack, man. He almost died. He was in the hospital for like a week.
Christ.
Yeah, dude. So, I mean, like addiction, right?
Yeah.
Really fucks with people. But this guy would come back into the back of the bus and everybody would be like on their binders, just like grinding up pills. And he'd be like, oh, yeah, totally so cool, man. You'd be all fucked up. And like, we were sitting here, college athletes, man, like scholar athletes, like people who were supposed to be
just like me.
Yeah, you guys are so cool. But great story about him. He is now clean. I follow him, and he went to rehab in the last, I want to say the last year, and ever since then, he actually moved out to Utah from Virginia, moved out to Utah because that's where some of his family lives, up in like Park City area. And I think he owns some businesses there now. But yeah, cleaned his life up. He's like awesome. Celebrates sobriety. So I mean, it's like, it's unfortunate that we have a health industry that if you look at how much they've evolved in 50 years, they haven't.
No.
They haven't evolved at all, man.
No.
They haven't evolved at all. We're still taking, I mean, obviously an X-ray and an MRI is great, cool. But it hasn't evolved, man. The machines have gotten faster, a little more detailed, but they haven't improved anything as far as the science behind our health, right?
Nope.
Like, cancer's still fucking cancer. How do we not have a cure for fucking cancer?
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
You don't make money off
You don't
cures.
make money. Exactly. I had this conversation the other day.
It's a sustained war, just like any fucking war we've fought since the second.
Yeah.
Just saying.
It's no, dude, it's very true. They keep you alive as long as they can. Then when they can't get any more money out of you, then they put you down like a dog.
when I got that fucking hole in my leg in Oklahoma, my insurance would only pay until they took the catheter out of my arm, the IV out of my arm. So as soon as they took it out, the doctor made note of it. A lady from my insurance showed up, saw it, had me sign something, and I was asked to leave.
No shit.
Still had a hole in my leg with a whole bunch of wet dry packed in there, and they're like, all right, now you got to go fly all the way back to Idaho. Good luck.
Wow. How can they deny you that? Like,
well, I was in a private hospital at the time, and I was covered through, I was working for that company Versabuilt, and I was covered through their Blue Cross. Well, as you know, Blue Cross will not really take a whole good lot of care of you.
Yeah.
Unless they have to.
Yeah. Especially out of state.
Yeah. So, anyway, sitting in St. John's, and doctor took note that they took the, took the IV out of my arm, and insurance showed up and made sure, and sure as shit, signed a piece of paper that said that I had to leave within a few hours. And they gave me a ride to the airport, and that was about it. It was kind of funny.
That's pretty fucked, man.
Well,
but that's healthcare in America, though,
yeah,
too, right?
I'm sure they offered me, like, we can sit here with you until we find you a wheelchair, but knowing me, I was like, nope, I could do it.
Yeah,
Give
stubborn.
me a cane.
Yeah, I probably would have been the same, too. Just like, fuck you guys, man.
Fuck you, you kicked me out.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, think about it. You can go in and not even speak English. They'll have an interpreter for you, and they can't deny you any services, and then you get off the fucking hook, and then all the taxpayers, you could be that person.
I could.
Or you could be a citizen
Okay.
that speaks English that doesn't require an extra service that has to be paid for.
And has insurance.
Yeah, and have insurance, and you can just get kicked out when your insurance runs out.
Yep.
With the same injury.
If you have a coverage gap, or coverage cap, rather, yeah, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. America. Well, dude, let's it's been about 45 minutes. This has been a great podcast. Let's talk a little bit about what you're doing as far as music, what you've done recently that you're like proud of, that you're stoked on.
Yes,
what
indeed,
you're doing now
indeed.
And what you're looking forward to.
Kind of glad you asked. So I'm very, very glad that I had this giant opportunity. First time I ever sang the national anthem at the CenturyLink Arena for the men's opening championship for the Big Sky Championship.
That's dope.
Yep.
For the basketball game.
Yep.
Yeah, and it was a packed house, I heard.
No, it wasn't too bad. I think the first tier was probably full. I really, honestly, was so nervous I didn't even look around that much.
Well, I mean, by packed, I mean, like, there were a lot of people there.
Oh, yeah,
Maybe
there's
not
quite a
have
few
been,
people.
Like, sold out. But, yeah, dude, I heard, I mean, it's a pretty big, it's a pretty big arena, though.
Yeah, there's maybe 1,000, 2,000 people.
It's pretty good, though.
Yeah, not too bad.
In an arena, though, it's like right on top of you.
Yeah, it was very nerve-wracking. Walking out to the center, I could hear my dog tags just chattering because my heart just fluttering. Yeah, it was an amazing experience, but I think I did well, and I apparently did good enough to get an invite to sing the national anthem for the Ride for 22. The suicide awareness program that they have. They got a ride going from the Harley-Davidson, High Desert Harley-Davidson, over there off of Overland. That is the 27th of April. So if you can make it out, support the Ride for 22. It's a good suicide awareness for, there's a lot of vets and active duty soldiers that are still committing suicide daily that really could use some support. So if you need to call your friend that you haven't heard from in a while, maybe do so. Just saying. It helps.
Always check up on your friends,
Yep.
especially if you know where they're coming from.
Yeah. But yeah, it's near and dear to me. I've had quite a few friends in the last few years that have all gone that direction, and in my opinion, it's really hard to get away from that, because once that monster gets inside of your mindset, it's really hard to get them out. Mm-hmm. I got pretty close a couple times, to be honest, especially going through all the withdrawals. There was times in my mind I was like, this would be a lot fucking easier if this was just over, but that's not the case. You got to find that reason and that want and that person or that thing or yourself to fucking stay alive for. So please keep it that way.
Yeah. Well, your music reflects that.
Yeah, thank you.
You definitely. Your music is raw, dude. So everybody who hears your songs, again, they're always stoked, dude.
No, I appreciate that.
So good. Yeah, and it's unique too. Like, it's country, but it's like it's like real country. It's like raw. It's like the hip hop of rap. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, like, your music reminds me of like the hip hop version of like the rap world to like country, like the mainstream country. You know what I'm saying? Yep. It's a little more rugged, a little more raw, like legit.
I'm not
not
considered
trying to be somebody you're not.
Yeah, I'm not considered tractor rap. That's for sure.
Yeah, is that what they call it? The tractor rap. That's like the new stuff. Didn't Shania Twain or somebody, or who was it, Reba McEntire or somebody? They just like dogged on all the new country stars.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, she just said they're all. She said something that just like got the country music industry all up and
good. They need to know it all kind of sounds the same at this point.
It kind of does.
I
very
don't
mainstream.
know unless
everything blends now.
Correct. Unless they tell me who it is, I don't know who it is. But if you play Waylon Jennings or Willie Nelson, people know exactly who the fuck they are. Even my old ass.
Yeah.
Even a lot of the young people that I know that, especially ones that hang out with me because they're forced to.
Right.
It's like, change it. No. Shut up. You will listen.
Yeah, you need to be cultured.
You will get cultured today. David Allen Coe. Hope you like cuss words. I know you're 7. Shut up.
It's got to learn somehow.
You got to learn to swim sometime.
Yeah,
John Wayne would just throw your ass in.
That's what my dad would always do. Like, we'd be watching like a rated R movie when I was a kid. And, like, there'd be tits about to show up on screen. Mama would be like, Timothy, close your eyes. My dad would be like, Lore, don't worry about it. He's going to see tits any day. Or anyway.
He's been seeing them since he was born.
Yeah, totally. Boobs are boobs. That was one thing I was, like, grateful for, is my parents didn't really, like, shield me from all that stuff. Especially growing up in an LDS, like, background.
That's good.
Really
good.
For
you.
Yes. That's why I'm who I am today.
Yes,
that's why I have a perfect criminal background with zero shit. But I'm also a rebel, hardcore.
Yeah, I am a rebel that got caught a couple times. Cheers. Cheers.
Did you grow up LDS too?
No, hell no.
Oh,
I just got arrested.
Yeah, happens the best of everybody.
That's how you write songs.
Speaking of which.
What do you think?
Got anything else, man?
I do. So just so you guys know, I've been playing a lot of local shows as well. A lot up in a place called South Fork Lodge, which is up in Loman, Idaho. I don't know if you've ever been up there, but it's beautiful. Gorgeous open valley, in between all the sawtooths. It's up on the way of Stanley. Other than that, playing a couple shows in Mountain Home, a couple here in Boise. Might be playing a couple in Weezer and also Emmett coming up. Keep your ears on. Also, like I said, we're in the rebuild. I'm waiting for a drummer of mine. Buddy is in jail, so he's going to fit the bill perfectly for his outlaw country bit. So we got a bass player. We got lead guitar still, Ryan Neal, and Zach Quintana, and then myself, of course. I'll be leading the gang with a little vocal action and whipping the old acoustic around. But we're gonna have to do a whole reformation, just so you guys know. So I hope you do keep your ears on. We will be back, I promise. We already been approached by a couple of the big showcases here in Boise Valley and also Oregon. We missed a couple big deals with them due to the fact we're rebuilding, but I spoke with them and we told them we'd be back next year. So once again, keep your ears on. Tumbleweeds will be back out rolling down the fucking road in no time. And on that note, I appreciate you guys listening in on this podcast, Channel 99. Love you.
Hell yeah.
Shot of Dawn Project. If you can, look into their deal and give them some support where you can. Make their voices heard.
Yeah.
They're going to be a big project to help support people like me, vets with issues. So it's, like I said, it's near and dear to my heart to kind of take part in the Ride 22 because I want to help out where I can with the veteran suicide awareness because, like I said, we've all had a few that we miss and miss a lot.
Yeah.
So
Percent.
on that note, play you guys a couple tunes.
Yeah, great shout outs. Everybody make sure that you subscribe anywhere on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, you name it. Give us 5 stars, pass the episode along. Also, make sure that you, go ahead and make sure you subscribe to the Tumbleweeds. We covered that in the intro of the beginning of the podcast. But it's the, what again? Sorry? The Tumbleweeds Instagram?
The Tumbleweeds 208 Outlaws,
Awesome.
I think, is one of the calls on that. Like I said, it's been a while since I looked at it, but on Facebook, you can find us at the Tumbleweeds. We're based out of Boise, Idaho, or it's Roll On Tumbleweeds.
And then Dustin Isaac is Slahappy D.
Slahappy D on Instagram, and then Dustin Isaac is what my personal about to become my private music page, so that's going to be a big change coming as well. I'm going to try to pull all my resources together and start getting some material out there. So,
yeah. Well, anything I can do to help, man.
I appreciate
we've talked
that.
about it. Yeah,
yep.
Totally. All right, everybody, we're signing off. Also, make sure that you go to runandrush.com, do Channel 9915, 15% off. You can also get 25% off at my website, proedgenutrition.com. I provide sports nutrition supplementation for college, high school, professional athletes of all disciplines. We're talking MMA all the way through football, soccer, you name it. But all right, everybody, signing off. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Dope. Book it.